So y'all, like always, you're going to need a few things. You know, I always say that at the start of anything. And primarily, you're going to need spices. And I know, looks like a whole lot of things. Well, you're also going to need a nice bowl, some measuring spoons. Yep, I measure. That's the engineering cook in me. And a whisk. Yeah. So, what do we got here? Well, as always, we got our black pepper. Pure ground it is. Then, we've got our chili powder. Then we've got our cayenne pepper. Cumin. Ground cinnamon. Yep. It's one of my special ingredients. Trust me on that. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Italian seasoning. Oh yeah. Paprika. And while we're on the subject of Italian seasoning, just so you can tell, this has got 14 herbs and spices in it, all total. That's because Italian seasoning has marjoram, thyme, you know how much I love thyme, rosemary, which pairs excellent with pork, savory, sage, oregano, and basil. Multi-purpose there. Of course, some salt, and then some brown sugar. I'm using light Domino brand. You can use what you choose to use. So we got to put all this together in the proper amounts to put together my version of an amazing spice rub. Like I said, it pairs well with all pork. All types of pork roast. You know, shoulder, Boston butt, you know, pork butt. Sprinkle it on some chops. Ribs. Oh, it's amazing on ribs. Yeah, one day I'll show you how I do my ribs. They are tasty. But we're getting this all ready because we're going to do some slow cooked pulled pork barbecue. Oh yeah. So this is the first step in the process, is an amazing spice rub. So the first thing we got to add to it is going to be the pure ground black pepper. Yep. And we're going to put in a tablespoon. Yeah, you know how I like my pepper. Of course, we're going to be seasoning up some meat here. And like always, it really don't matter if it's a touch less or not. It ain't that crucial, okay? The second ingredient's going to be the cayenne pepper. Oh yeah, it's a must. And I would say 1 teaspoon if you don't like it so spicy. But I go with 2. So it's 1 to 2 on that. Then we're going to have to put in our chili powder. Yep, right there. And for that, we're going to drop in 2 sort of level tablespoons. Don't be afraid of it. It'll be fine. And this seasons up a lot of meat, so it ain't going to get you. Next up, we're going to be using cumin. Yeah. Got to have that cumin flavor in your barbecue. Trust me on it. And here again, we're going to drop in 2 sort of kind of level tablespoons. Just like that. That's ground cumin. Right there. And, of course, we got to put in our garlic powder. And we're going to put this in just about 1 tablespoon. Woo! That's going to add some flavor, I'm telling you. To all of that, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Now you could sub some minced onion, but I like the powdered form in this of all the ingredients, except for the herbs, Italian seasoning. So there's a 1 tablespoon bouillon powder. And then we're going to put in the paprika. Now if you got that there smoked paprika, all the more better. So we got to put in a pile of this paprika. We're going to put us in 4 tablespoons. You know, paprika isn't hot. It's just got that flavor. There's 3. This stuff's starting to all get up my nose, which has already been sniffling. There's 4 of your paprika. Next up is our Italian seasoning with all that goodness in it. We're going to put us in a good tablespoon, sort of kind of heaping. Don't be afraid of it. And for our last spice, we're going to be putting in the cinnamon. And I'm going to be putting in 2 level teaspoons. Just like that. And the last thing we got to throw in there before we drop in our sugar is 2 tablespoons of salt. You can use what level. I'm using, you know, old folk salt, iodized. You can use uniodized Himalayan pink salt, or you can use sea salt. Pickling salt works really good. So we got our 2 tablespoons in there. And then the last thing to go in a special rub, and I already have some here because it was hard, so I had to do some crushing with a mallet. My brown sugar always tends to get hard. You know? We got to put us in 2 to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now you could sub honey, but then it wouldn't be a dry rub, would it? And what does this brown sugar going to do? Well, it's going to give it some sweetness. Ain't no doubt. There's 2. And I'm just going to say that's the 3rd. Like I said, a little bit less, a little bit more, ain't going to hurt. So that's everything you need. And you'll be able to smell it. And if you can't smell each one of your spices and herbs, then they're not fresh. You need to chunk them. Go to your store or online, get you some more. Then you can take a whisk. I mean, for years I used, you know, pork whisk, which is a fork. And you're just going to take that and just start whipping it up good. Yep. The more you whip, you'll get the lumps out. Put some music on. And whip to the beat. You know, if you got some hard or crusty spices, because you live down in the deep south where, you know, the humidity is always about 85-95%. You know, you can put those spices in a mortar and pestle and grind them back up. As long as they're smelling strong, I'm going to tell you, this rub, you can smell the black pepper, the cayenne, the cumin, the Italian seasoning. Oh yeah, paprika. And you just run it up on the sides there, and it'll start breaking it up. And you'll get some rotation going, some of that wrist action. Don't be afraid. You ain't gonna ruin your spices. And once you're happy with them, ooh, that is smelling good. There you have it. The spice rubs all finished up right there. I mean, like I'm telling you, any type of pork, this is amazing. I even use it on chicken. And I have used it on beef. All three meats works fine. But I especially made it for the pork. Been working on this thing now for the better part of the last 30 years. Starting to get to my nose. So it's got medicinal purposes too. If your nose is a little bit stopped up, it'll take care of that problem. Yes, sir, it will. So we got a rub all made up. Now we're all prepared to go to the next step in the process. See, my special pulled pork barbecue is actually a 3-stage process. The first step starts with the rub. The second step is applying it to the pork butt, roast, ribs, whatever. And the third step is, of course, slow cooking it, or you in a crock pot, which is how I'm going to do it this time. But I've done it in the oven, slow roasted, low temp, long time. You know, just like crock pot, except it's in the oven. And the best, most exceptional way is to put it on a smoker, low and slow, for 10 to 12 hours. That's the ultimate. So once you've got your spice mix all mixed up, you know, you're amazing butt rub, well, you're going to have some left over. And as long as you haven't allowed it to touch your pork, you can pour it into one of these here little spice bottles that you should be saving anyway when you use up your spices, just like I did here. And I date it. Don't have to be fancy. Just strip off the label. See, some still on the back. And you can make a fancy label if you want to, or you can get nice spice bottles on Amazon. But it's not necessary. And then you'll have some amazing butt rub for your next pork pulled barbecue. Yeah. And like I said, this goes great with a shoulder roast, Boston butt, ribs, oh yeah. Sprinkle it on some pork chops in an old cast iron frying pan. Or if you're cooking up some chicken, whether you're roasting it in the oven, yeah, or putting it on the barbecue. Yeah, and I would dry brine it too, my chicken, because that just lets that flavor permeate. Get her under the skin, yeah, or mix it up with some butter and pack under the skin. Now we talking some amazing southern grilled barbecue chicken. So I hope you enjoyed our little video on making an amazing spice rub that you can use at your next barbecue. And we're just going to put her on up here in the counter along with all our other spices and put her to bed. Yep, here in the little old country kitchen. So, like always, folks, till I see you on the next video, Gracie and Kitty Crew, so y'all take care. Stay safe. God bless each and every one of you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. And it's getting late. And I still got a crock pot to clean up. A bunch of dishes to put up. Yeah. Work to do. Oh, later all.